Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel, often every day, but lately it's been like every other day or every 3 days. I'm currently traveling. I also have several other jobs. I started this channel about 5 years ago. A little bit more than that actually. Started it back in September of 2019, so we're coming up on 6 years this year, and it has changed. It's been taking more of my time for the past few years, and now I'm gonna have to maybe take a little bit of a step back, but I do love it so much, and I love the community that we've created here, so as far as I can tell, it's gonna continue. It just might not be daily videos as much, but I am gonna have a lot of boxes waiting for me when I get home at the end of the month, so be prepared. There's going to be everyday unboxings for the end of May. Today I have a box that is not sent to me for a review. I am a subscriber. Every once in a while they will send me a box for a review if I ask for it and I haven't already got it as part of my 3-month at a time subscription that I do for the adult line, I guess, of Once Upon a Book Club. So they also have a young adult box that they do. They also have a middle grader box that I don't think is every month. It's just like when they have titles available. But what's fun about this kind of OG book subscription is that along with the titles, with the books, that they give you hints about. They don't actually tell you the title. Actually, now you can look up the title. Once upon a time, you couldn't actually look up the title. They include gifts to go along with the different pages. A lot of times they actually have custom gifts made. They're not always literal interpretations, which I actually prefer. Sometimes they're more functional. Sometimes they're like great lifestyle items. Sometimes it feels like a lifestyle subscription box. Sometimes there's some misses for me, but if the book is good or if having some page number sticky notes to help me keep reading is something that got me through the book and didn't put it in my did not finish pile, to me that's kind of worth it. The box itself is $59.99 per month. That does include the shipping. I do have a link and a code for you that'll save you 10% on any purchase at Once Upon a Book Club. That code is now HiNoel10, so my channel name plus 10. I did have a different code back in the day, but that was getting overused. So if you were looking at an old Once Upon a Book Club unboxing here on my channel, make sure you have the updated one, HiNoel10. That also helps my channel out. It also kind of helps keep me on that list of subscribers where every once in a while they'll throw us a bone and give us a box. Includes the book, of course. Sometimes it's a hardback, often it's a paperback. Sometimes they're even doing their own publishing, so it might be a special edition, which was the case with this April box. They include a 5x7 quote card. They include a guide to the book box. So in this case, we had this nice guide. So the box itself was called Seaside Suspicions. So if you're someone like me where you like to just read the hint and not actually look up the title until it arrives, the box is the Seaside Suspicions box. If you are someone who likes to know the title just to make sure that maybe you haven't read it before, then you might call it the Murder at Gull's Nest box, because this was the book. Now this was a Once Upon a Book Club edition. Look at those pretty page ends that they did. It's so cool with this little skull and crossbones there. It is hardcover. The author is Jess Kidd, which I'm not sure. I know that this writer has done other things, but I feel like I saw that name in like a, I don't know, a Once Upon a Book Club like short story collection. I don't know why, but maybe it's just because Jess Kidd is like a well-known author at this point. But it does seem like she has a good sort of connection, of course, with Once Upon a Book Club, the company, because she let them do this awesome edition of it. So this book, before we get into it, let me show you the quote card. So this one says, "It takes great bravery to be your own person." That's a good one. And then on the back, you can see we have a letter from the author, which I haven't actually read. "I'm delighted to introduce the first of a brand new sparkling seaside mystery series set in Britain." So it's a series. We have a detective who's a former nun. It's kind of fun. And then we also get our collectible sticker. These are always little hexagons, so you can use this to track your reading with Once Upon a Book Club. Or if you're like, I'm not going to buy a specific Once Upon a Book Club item, notebook, water bottle, whatever, you could still put that in your reading journal, which is kind of a nice thing. And you also get a bookmark. So the bookmark just usually has the same quote. Let's see what she said. It's 1953, and sharp-eyed former nun Nora Breen arrives in Goronsea On the Kent coast, she takes a room at the Gull's Nest boarding house, a place of faded grandeur and eccentric inmates. Nora is not here on a whim. She's investigating the disappearance of her favorite novice. When one of the boarders is found dead in mysterious circumstances, Nora suspects foul play. To untangle a web of secrets and deceit, she'll need to do more than pray. But does Nora have what it takes to find her friend and stop a killer? The inspiration for this novel came a long time ago. I grew up in a big, chaotic London Irish family and went to a Catholic school. I was terrified of nuns. My brother told me they could levitate and see around corners. Being unreasonably poor at mathematics, I had after-school lessons with a former religious sister, and I was intrigued not only why she had joined a convent, but why she had left it. I never had the bravery to ask, but I could sense her outlook on the world had been changed by her experiences. I love this. I'm going to read the rest of it if I have time, all right, you guys? That said, we always have a secret password, well, at least for this span of time where I'm only doing my unboxings every 3 days. So today's secret password is going to be kind of strange. I'm going to have it be convent because our lovely friend Nora leaves the convent essentially. So convent, C-O-N-V-E-N-T, is our secret password. When you come across the secret password, you want to enter it along with your contact information in the Google form that is linked for you in the description box below. Please don't put it into the comments. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to have a US or Canadian mailing address. You do have to be subscribed to my channel. It doesn't have to be publicly. I can verify with you via email. Essentially, there's about 10 secret passwords throughout the month in different videos. They're not in every single video. Each secret password counts as one entry. You can't put it in multiple times though. And then I do check. And then about 5 days, usually like the May secret password giveaway, I would do the drawing on June 5th. This time around, again, because of more travel and work, I'm probably not going to do it until the 10th. So you have some extra time, even though there's far fewer videos. I'm probably only going to have like, 15 videos, and I usually have a good 30 videos in the month. So you only have like 15 to go through to collect all the secret passwords. I'm going to give you to the 10th to get caught up and get those secret passwords in. I basically use a random number picker to select a few winners, and then I send out a mystery box to you. It's kind of a fun way to let me share the wealth of things that I receive in mystery boxes, in boxes that I pay for and boxes that I receive for review. And it's also hopefully inspiration for you all to watch the videos in their entirety. So today's secret password is convent. All right. And I will come back to that author's note if we have time, but I want to make sure that we get to see all of the gifts that went along with it. So in this case, oh, here's our guide. I forgot about the guide. So in the guide, in addition to the letter, we often have a conversation/interview with the author. They give us discussion questions like a proper book club. They give us the QR code for the book club chat, and they tell us the page numbers of the gifts. So there's usually 3 to 5 gifts inside. And then they usually have something fun on the back, like a recipe or a crossword puzzle. This time it is the Marine Mermaid, which is a cocktail that does appear in the book. So that's kind of fun. It's like kiwi and green apple and Midori melon liqueur and vodka. It actually sounds very refreshing. It sounds very green, but it does sound good. So I'm not going to read the conversation, but let's see. What are some of the questions they asked her? Murder at Gull's Nest is slightly different from the novels you've written in the past. What inspired you to write this specific story, and what inspired you to write a cozy mystery in general? I bet she covers some of that in the little letter. What inspired you to include the puppets in the novel? Oh goodness, you guys. The puppets freaked me out a little bit. Okay, let's take a look at what we got in the box. So I personally, sometimes I take a look at the gifts as I'm reading, but often I'm reading and I don't have the whole big pink box with me. So I usually get to the gifts at the very end. But when I do come across the sticky note, like the one on page 59, which is where our first gift was, I'm often trying to guess what the gift is going to be. And we used a Once Upon a Book Club box for one of our book club reads, and that was one of the things that we did in our discussion in our private Facebook group. Was we were like, all right, there's definitely a gift on this page. What do you guys think it is? Like, just kind of knowing Once Upon a Book Club and thinking what it could be. So let's see, on page 59, Nora catches sight of something and bends down to study the corpse. She frowns, her voice suddenly urgent. Look at this, stuffed in his right pocket. She's Irish. Right out, Pierce. A handkerchief. It's not his. How could you possibly know that, Miss Breen? See those forget-me-nots? Rideout shines the torch, squints. I see little blue dots. I can assure you they're flowers, replies Nora, and when you unfold that handkerchief, you'll also discern the letters FB in blue thread. What makes you so sure? I embroidered it for Frida Brogan. All right, so what did we get? We are not going to get a handkerchief, thankfully. On page 59, and you can see they do the packaging. Look at this, it's a teacup with the cross and the skull and bones on it. I would definitely not drink anything out of that teacup. I do love getting teacups in book boxes, but like if they sent us one of those, I would have been like, no. It's so cute. I've been wanting one of these like felt embroidered bookmarks for so long because I saw them on Instagram where you could get them monogrammed with your own initials. So we have the like little handkerchief with FB on it, like a handkerchief, but it's really just a bookmark, and this is actually embroidery. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's not just like printed on there. It's actually stitched on there. I mean, they use like a machine to do it, but like, look how pretty. I love that. So it says embroidered corner bookmark. Slide your bookmark over the corner of the pages you're reading to hold down the place when you put your book down. I thought this was super cute. You do want to do like a couple of pages just so you don't bend things, but look how pretty that is. I thought that was a great gift, honestly. All right, the next one didn't come until page 219. So it was like 59, and then 200 pages later, 150 pages later, 219. And then it was like in quick succession, 304 and 316, and the book was not that long. Sometimes the passage that it's inspired by comes down at the bottom of the page, so they have to do a baby sticky note. Let's see if I have 219. So 219 came wrapped up in paper. And it says, let's see, what does it say? Nora kneels down. With some trepidation, she slides her hand under, for Irene, that's like kind of the housekeeper, keeps the floor none too clean. Her fingers touch cold glass. She draws the object out, but it is not the perfume bottle she holds. It is a vial of smelling salts. She reaches in again. This time, she is rewarded with a bottle of pills. Squinting at the label, she recognizes the name of the drug. A sedative. Smelling salts and sedatives. To wake someone up and to make them drowsy. But who would hide them under here? Indeed, who in the boarding house would hide them under there? And who are they drugging? Well, at this point in the novel, you do kind of know. But, so we got smelling salts. I thought this was kind of interesting. But it's not really smelling salts. It's rose and chamomile bath salts. So it tells us how to use it on one side. Again, they're having these produced for the box itself. And then it says the same passage right here. So I don't know if it's a glass bottle though. I didn't actually open it up, you guys. I think it, oh, it is. That's really pretty. And it's got the little handle here. So I'm going to ruin it and cut into that plastic. I will tell you that this nice edition of the book, which sometimes I think their editions are like, not cheesy, but they're a little young feeling with the like printed edges and stuff, but I thought this one was pretty good. So we do have, it's actually plastic. I was hoping that it was glass, because that would be a nice reusable jar with this. Oh, it's taped in there, the little spoon, but it still looks really pretty. You could use this as bath salts. It's rose and chamomile though, so rose can be a little intense for me. Let's see what the book, oh, okay. So this is actually really pretty. It's like kind of a linen finish. It's got this engraved in it. And then we have the tea. I guess that would have been a spoiler if I had undone the cover, the jacket. If I had undone the jacket, I would have totally known what happened. Oh, I just dropped it. I guess the cover, even the jacket, has the murderous tea in there. I didn't even notice that. That's really unobservant of me. All right, you guys, let's go on to page 304, which is where our next one is. 304, goodness gracious. We had another one at the bottom of the page. I have to get into the box because I didn't actually pull everything out. 304. All right, look at this. It's very Halloween-y. Maybe they can reuse it for their Halloween boxes, because Once Upon a Book Club does do special edition boxes. They're doing like a summer box. They do Halloween boxes. They used to call them like sweet and spooky, and now it's called something else, but they could do, except it has page 304 printed on it, but they could use it for something else. Let's see. Stella protests, but she does what she's told like a tractable child. Her hands are frozen and her face pinched with crying. Nora adds another blanket to the bed and puts the kettle on the burner for a hot water bottle. Stella holds out her hand. Don't leave me. My mind is full. The shock of seeing that terrible puppet, its face smirking at me. Nora pulls the chair over beside the bed. Read to me, Nora. It always soothes. So she has lost someone, one of the poor boarders, her dear beloved. So here is our hot water bottle. It's pretty darn cute though. Look how fuzzy. It's a little out of season. Again, this is the April box, but I thought this was cute. It does have a QR code to tell you how to use it. It has a 2-liter capacity. And then look at this little like book, oops. Look at this little book charm on it. It doesn't have anything on it really. It just has a plastic cover so it doesn't get scratched. I wonder if you can take this off. Oh yeah, so I think you can untie these little dingle balls here because they are in quite a tight knot. So I think you might be able to open this up and pull out the water bottle. Of course, you can get into the top of the water bottle to fill it, but I think you should be able to pull the cover off. But that's actually kind of cute. I think it's kind of cute. All right, we have got one more item to go, and that was on page 316. I'm not like a hot water bottle user. I do like some of those like weighted, you know, lavender sachet things that you can like put in the microwave or put in your fridge for like cooling or heating. Those I like. It doesn't get cold enough here for me to use a hot water bottle, but I thought that was cute. It's cute. For a Once Upon a Book Club gift, not bad. All right, page 316. Once again, we have 3 bottom of the pagers. I'm trying to remember. Oh, here's our little box. Very cute. Got some birds, some birdles. Dinah is still in her moss green party dress. Dinah's like the creepy little kid that runs around Gold's Nest. Honestly, she is a little creepy. Her face tear stained and her blue eyes large. Stella sits next to her with her arm around the little girl's shoulders. Dinah appears to shrink from her touch. Before them lies a gingham tablecloth spread over the boards of the platform. The cloth is set with a teapot and cups. There is a milk jug and a sugar bowl. In a basket nearby lies a thermos flask, a stoppered bottle of milk, and a little white and red tin. Nora doesn't need to guess the contents of the sugar bowl. Beside the basket lies Dinah's notebook, pages splayed open and face down. So, yes, she's kind of figured it out at this point because our lovely Nora has become quite the sleuth. So inside we have Stella's sugar bowl. And this one is actually kind of a literal interpretation. No poison in it though. Very nice packaging. So we have this glass, actually glass, not plastic. Oh, goodness. I didn't actually pull it out before. Hopefully I can get this out of here. It's just a cute little stopper. You could use it as a sugar bowl. I think it might be a little bit short for like cotton swabs, but you could put all kinds of little things in that. Isn't that pretty with the faceted glass? Or not faceted, but cut glass. I thought that was actually a good gift, again, for Once Upon a Book Club. So the bath salts are something just, I'm not a bath girl, so I wouldn't use them. But it was nice. I do wish they did a glass jar, I will say that. This was okay. I thought the little embroidered bookmark, even though it's not super high value, was lovely. I really appreciated that. And then the sugar bowl was great. So, you know, usually I kind of grade these boxes and their curations based on how many of the gifts I like. So I'm going to give it, you know, I'm going to give these 2 items a half a star kind of, just because they could have won me over, even though I'm not a bath girl. They could have won me over with a glass jar because then I would feel better about regifting it to someone. Again, this is something that I don't necessarily use, but it's pretty nice. So I'm giving them both half stars. The sugar bowl, I don't need a sugar bowl, but I'm going to give that a full star. And the little embroidered bookmark, which I think is really pretty, I'm giving that a full star. So this box gets 3 out of 4 stars for me in terms of the curation. Let's go back though. Did I give you guys a secret password? I think I did, right? Yes. It's where Nora's from. Let's read the last 2 paragraphs though before we get going. Roll along quite a few years, and the character of Nora Breen appeared. My characters have a habit of doing that, pardon the pun. I had previously experimented with crime elements in my fiction. In Himself, the case of Mahoney's missing mother is center stage. The Hoarder features a tragedy buried under decades of clutter. Things in Jars, maybe that's where I know her name from. Things in Jars has the indomitable Bridie Devine, nope, haven't read that book. Tracking a strange, possibly magical stolen child across Victorian London. The Night Ship is based on the real, unbelievable crimes surrounding the Batavia, the Dutch East India Company's flagship that wrecked off the coast of Western Australia in 1629. In these stories, I've played with different genres, whether crime, speculative fiction, folklore, and magical realism. Oh, that sounds good. She sounds very prolific. Murder at Gull's Nest represents my first foray into cozy mystery. That's totally what it was. Inspired in part by the writers of the Golden Age, such as Agatha Christie, and taking a post-war seaside setting. This is also the first book in a series. My previous novels have been standalone. Apart from satisfying puzzles and well-calibrated mystery plots, you'll find characters of depth and complexity. Nora Breen returns to the world with her own gaggle of demons, but also with curiosity and compassion. Her sparring partner is Detective Inspector Rideout, a wry and rakish former RAF pilot suffering from PTSD. The seaside setting is home to the flotsam and jetsam of society, the outsider. It is a place of relaxed rules where people might start afresh, even if they always come with a backstory. You can also expect the odd supernatural touch, strong women characters, neurodivergent voices, and queer stories reflecting my own preoccupations as a human and a writer. I hope you enjoy your stay at Gull's Nest and grow to love Nora Breen as much as I do. Heads up, she doesn't levitate, but has many other remarkable skills. So I would totally read another Nora Breen story. Maybe I shouldn't have said that our poor little friend that lives there, Dinah, is weird, but she's a little creepy girl. But this was a delightful box, and I think it's really cool to get a special edition in a monthly subscription box. You guys let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing in a few days.